La Crosse Local is proud to be a sponsor of the La Crosse Winter Roots Festival, taking place Saturday, February 12th. We invite you to celebrate music, cuisine, artists, makers, brewers, and distillers in the new La Crosse Center Riverside Ballroom. Musical entertainment includes Dan Sobronic, Reed Grimm, Tug, The Remainders, Greg Hall and the Wrecking Ball, and the Trippin' Billies, the nation's most renowned Dave Matthews tribute band. La Crosse Winter Roots Festival is presented by the La Crosse Center, La Crosse Local, and with special thanks to The Remainders.
I'm going home. Hey, I'm going home.
Find out more information and how to get tickets at lacrosselocal.com. We talked with Michael Zernia, aka Unicycle Michael. This singer-songwriter is often seen hustling the streets with his six-string and a unicycle. We chat influences, songwriting process, and what's coming up for this musician. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
Oh, baby, your kisses sweeter than honey. Baby, your kisses are sweeter than wine. Oh, I want you to stay now. Stay for a minute, maybe an hour, maybe all night.
So my name's Michael Zernia, but a lot of people know me as Unicycle Michael. I started music when I was probably in like first grade, and my mom, she like forced me to do piano lessons, and I hated it so much, but I did it anyways, and I think it made me a lot better musician. And then I started getting into bass later when I was probably in fifth grade, played in the orchestra, and then eventually I started playing in the band at school, and I'd be playing electric bass during like pep band and stuff. And then I moved on to guitar later. And then I joined my first band when I was 18, and we were called the Blue Bridge Band with my buddy Addison Israelson. And so we played like a lot of folk, a lot of blues. That's when it all started.
Going through some of your music now, you know, it's kind of transitioned from those early phases. I can still hear some blues in it, but what are some of your musical influences that you kind of take from?
Well, I'd say in the early days when I first started, I was really into like the blues and the folk. So I listened to like a lot of like Old Crow Medicine Show, like Muddy Waters, Jimi Hendrix, those kind of characters. I'm also really influenced by my old bandmate Addison Israelson, but I'd say that's more in like the way I perform, just kind of the physical parts of the performance. I was living out in Seattle about 2 years ago, and I got more into like the folk punk scene, I'd say, and I started listening to more like Pat the Bunny or Days and Days, like those kinds of groups. And then I like transitioned when I started playing with this horn player out in Seattle, and we started to get more into like funky stuff and more jazz oriented things as my musical vocabulary started to grow, and I started to get more into, you know, other facets.
You shared a link with me with some new tunes, Lovely Friends and Friendly Lovers, just recently. What was the songwriting and recording process like that? Or do you work fast, or you kind of take your time?
So I have an extremely unlinear way of going about that. So I'll start with like, I'll have a phrase or a punchline or something like that, and I'll type it out, or I'll type it on I'll like type it in the notes on my computer, or type it in like my typewriter, or maybe write it on a piece of paper. And then I'll try to like find a way I can make that into like a punchline for a song, or put like a progression over it. And then once I have that, then I'll start to add the rest of the song, so the rest of the lyrics. And then I'll start performing that a little bit at shows, and, you know, maybe sneak in there once in a while. And then once I start getting comfortable with it, then I'll start playing it more at shows, and then we go on to recording. So when I start recording, I'll go hit up my bandmate Stan Hall, and first thing we do is we lay down the drums. So then we have like the form for the song per se. And then over the drums, we'll lay the rhythm guitar, and then lay the bass down, and then the lead guitar. And then last, you lay down the vocals.
Life's dance ain't no competition. I love it when I see the homies all grinning. You and I together keeps the world on spinning with them funky moves. When you're rocking to the rhythm, homies going hard.
And then you can add any, special effects you want to it, or if you want, a little sound effect here or something, you can add that all in at the end. But that's basically how I go about it.
How has the COVID experience been for you? I mean, was it time for you to kind of dig into creativity, or was it frightening, or was it no different than your other daily life, or how was the experience for you?
So the COVID was interesting. I'd say that it had both positive and negative effects on my personal life. So one negative effect was obviously you couldn't do shows during COVID because, stuff was closed down. But at the same time, when COVID ended, everyone was just so hungry for shows. Like people would walk up to you at a show and they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's so great to hear live music again." So that was pretty awesome. It's like when you have like a lover or something, you spend some time away from them and then you come back. It's like, oh yeah, like I miss this so much. So that was really awesome. I got to do some recording during COVID. I actually moved during COVID, which was crazy because stuff was really popping off when I was living in Seattle. I just moved back to my hometown, La Crosse, to, get somewhere where it's a little bit more safe and predictable,
So, you had this kind of 2-track project that you just put out, Lovely Friends and Friendly Lovers. Can you kind of go through the 2 tracks and just, maybe share a little inspiration on them?
Yeah. So the first track, I'd say that was more of the Lovely Friends side of it. Basically that track, it's talking about like a party, you're at like some kind of get together, some kind of music festival or something, and everyone's just going wild dancing, So it's kind of like setting the scene for the story, like everyone's, just going wild, dancing, having a good time, partying together, you feel the friendly love. And the other track, I'd say that's more of the first part would be the Lovely Friends. The second part would be the Friendly Lovers, because it's talking about this girl. I basically just go off about how I wish she never left, and then it talks about how you just make the day so much better, even when it's rainy, like it just feels good to have you around, so that's the Friendly Lovers.
So do you have something like a full album coming down the line, or what are you working on here in the next years related to recordings?
I'd say we're going to start, we got some tracks that we're trying to fit into an album. I can't really say when that's going to happen, but we're working on that right now. And we got some singles cooking too, and a bunch of other projects. So we're always working on stuff.
If someone wants to find out more, what's the best avenue to send them to? Website or social?
I'd say check me out on Facebook at Michael Zernia. You can friend me. You can check out my music page. Also, I'm on Instagram at Michael Zernia Music. And then I'm on Bandcamp at Michael Zernia, which is where you can find that recording of Lovely Friends and Friendly Lovers.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com. And you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.